Welcome to What's Viral, Curious Minds, Smarter Lives.
Welcome, curious minds, to a brand new deep dive. Today, we're looking ahead, navigating the tech landscape of 2025. What trends are really set to redefine things? And look, we're not talking science fiction here, not distant future stuff. These are actual developments. They're already making waves in different industries, already changing how we live day to day. So our mission, as always, is to kind of cut through the noise. We've looked at the sources, and we want to pull out those key nuggets for you, give you that shortcut to being really clued in. Because this stuff, it affects, well, every single one of us. Let's dive in. Okay, first up, generative AI. Now, you've probably played with tools like ChatGPT, maybe Midjourney, fun for generating text, making cool images, that kind of thing. But for 2025, we're seeing generative AI really move beyond just experiments. It's becoming, well, a serious tool for professionals.
Absolutely. It's moving into workflows in a big way. I mean, think about Adobe's generative fill in Photoshop. Designers can literally just type what they need and the AI starts creating. That saves hours, right? But it goes way beyond creative stuff. Look at pharmaceuticals. They're using generative AI now to actually design new drug candidates. In silico medicine, for example, used AI to design a drug that's already in human trials. That's huge.
Wow, human trials already. So it's not just making things faster. It's like
Yeah.
discovering things humans couldn't.
Exactly. It's exploring molecular possibilities that are just too complex, too vast for traditional methods. So we're not just talking about saving time, we're talking about potentially saving lives, finding new pathways.
Okay, that's a profound impact. But what are the biggest sort of roadblocks to get these AI-designed drugs actually out there?
Well, the main hurdle is still the regulatory process. Getting approval is, thorough and takes time, no matter how the drug was discovered. But the AI dramatically speeds up that initial discovery phase, which was always a massive bottleneck, so the whole pipeline gets faster.
Right, makes sense. Okay, sticking with things that feel a bit sci-fi, quantum computing. This one always gets me excited. It feels like it's finally starting to get real.
It really is exciting. The progress is pretty significant now. Take IBM's quantum system 2. It's already being used for really complex molecular simulations, stuff classical computers just can't handle well.
Molecular simulations.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Any more like down-to-earth examples?
Well, Volkswagen is actually testing quantum systems to optimize city traffic flow. Think about it. Traffic involves countless variables interacting in real time. Classical computers struggle with that exponential complexity. Quantum's advantage is exploring all those possibilities simultaneously, so you could potentially optimize traffic for a whole city, predicting jams before they happen.
Okay, so predicting traffic jams, designing molecules, so we're not getting quantum laptops anytime soon, I take it.
No, not next year. But the impact is behind the scenes, tackling these massive, previously intractable problems.
Right, and what kind of problems are we talking about beyond traffic?
Oh, things like optimizing global supply chains, designing brand new materials atom by atom, major breakthroughs in financial modeling, problems where the possibilities just explode exponentially. Quantum computers offer a whole new way to find solutions, sometimes solutions we couldn't even conceive of before.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, let's pivot to something maybe a bit more tangible right now. Spatial computing. Sounds fancy, I know. But with Apple launching the Vision Pro this year, this idea of mixing digital stuff into our real world, it's literally in people's living rooms now.
It really feels like the beginning of the next era of computing, doesn't it? And what's interesting is how quickly it's finding professional uses. Architects, for instance, can walk clients through virtual buildings before anything's built. You can stand inside the space, suggest changes. It's immersive.
Okay, I can see that. What else?
Medicine is another big one. Surgeons practicing complex operations on realistic 3D holograms. It's not just looking at a screen, it's planning, refining skills with incredible precision before touching a patient. That reduces risk, improves outcomes.
Wow. Practicing on holograms. So what makes this a next era? Is it just better VR headsets?
It's more the seamlessness, I think. Spatial computing overlays digital info onto your real world. You interact using your hands, your eyes. It's less isolating than traditional VR. It blends the digital and physical naturally, which opens up completely new ways to work, to learn, to interact with information.
Right, that blending aspect seems key. Okay, let's talk health, something vital for everyone. It's kind of amazing to think that in 2025, your first sign of getting sick might come from your watch or a ring.
That's exactly where things are heading. Devices like the Oura Ring, the Apple Watch, they have incredibly sophisticated sensors now. And they're using AI not just to track your steps, but to analyze tiny changes, heart rate variability, sleep, temperature. The AI can spot anomalies, patterns that might indicate you're about to get sick, maybe days before you feel any symptoms.
Days before, wow.
Yeah. It flips healthcare from being reactive, treating you when you're sick, to being predictive and proactive, catching things early. And on a bigger scale, look at DeepMind. They're using AI to map protein structures. Understanding how proteins fold is absolutely fundamental to understanding diseases and designing drugs. AI is unlocking that complexity, potentially leading to cures we couldn't find before.
That reactive to predictive shift, that feels huge. Okay, let's switch gears. Sustainability. For anyone passionate about the environment, green tech, and sustainable innovation, it seems like they're really hitting their stride, becoming genuinely powerful.
Yes, and the key difference now is the focus on making it profitable and scalable. It has to work economically. Take a company like Heliogen. They're using AI and mirrors, lots of mirrors, to focus sunlight intensely. They can generate enough heat for heavy industrial processes, like making cement or steel. That's a direct replacement for fossil fuels in some really high emission sectors.
Replacing fossil fuels in steelmaking with solar? That's impressive.
It is. And then you have material science innovations, like sodium-ion batteries starting to hit the market. Sodium, way more abundant and cheaper than lithium. So that could mean more affordable batteries for electric cars, for storing renewable energy on the grid, makes green tech more accessible.
So it's becoming the smart business choice, not just the right choice. What's stopping these from just taking over everywhere immediately? What are the hurdles?
Often it's the scale-up, building the manufacturing capacity, the infrastructure needed for these new technologies. And sometimes the initial cost of switching industrial processes can be high. But the economics are shifting fast, and regulations are pushing things too, so adoption is definitely accelerating.
Okay. Now let's talk automation. Autonomous everything.
Right.
We hear autonomous and usually think self-driving cars, but this trend is way broader.
Oh, much broader. And the impact is really diverse. Look at Zipline. For years, they've used drones in Rwanda to deliver medical supplies, blood, vaccines to remote areas, life-saving stuff. Now they're bringing that same model to the U.S., delivering prescriptions right to people's homes.
Drone prescription delivery. Okay. And cars. Yep. On the car front, Amazon Zoox taxis are already driving themselves fully autonomously in parts of California. Robotaxis are becoming a reality, so you can see this future taking shape where autonomous systems, robots, drones, vehicles handle more and more everyday tasks. Shopping, medical deliveries, transport. It really could reshape cities and how we access things.
Yeah.
Are there big practical roadblocks still, besides getting the rules sorted?
Yeah, beyond regulation, the big challenge is always the edge cases. Really unusual weather, unexpected things on the road, complex human behavior that the AI wasn't trained for. They're getting much better through data and training, but achieving flawless autonomy in every single situation, it still takes time and a lot of real-world testing.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, let's tackle Web3. Now, I know what some people might think, lots of hype, then maybe some, let's say, skepticism. But it seems like Web3 is quietly making a comeback, and this time maybe with more real-world purpose.
I think that's fair. The focus has definitely shifted away from just speculation towards actual utility. Look at Worldcoin, co-founded by Sam Altman from OpenAI. They're building a decentralized digital ID system using iris scans. The goal is a secure, verifiable online identity for everyone, especially the billions who lack traditional ID. That's a foundational thing for digital access.
A global digital ID. Interesting. Any other examples?
Even big brands are finding uses. Gucci is linking NFTs, those unique digital tokens, to physical luxury goods. It acts like a digital certificate of authenticity, permanently recorded, helps fight counterfeits, builds trust with the buyer.
Okay, so authenticity, identity.
Exactly. It's about real ownership, digital trust, verifiable proof, moving beyond the hype into things that solve actual problems.
All right, so that's a whirlwind tour of 7 pretty transformative trends shaping up for 2025 and beyond. We've got generative AI going pro, quantum computing getting real, spatial computing merging digital and physical, AI driving predictive health, green tech becoming profitable, autonomous not emitter, everything handling tasks, and Web3 finding real utility. Quite a list.
It really is. And maybe the most interesting thing to think about for you listening is how these things might converge. How does predictive health AI interact with autonomous drone delivery for your prescriptions? How does spatial computing change how we use AI-designed products when these separate trends start connecting and amplifying each other? What new possibilities, or even what new questions, ethical, societal, arise? That's where it gets really fascinating.
That convergence idea,
Yeah.
that's a powerful thought to leave everyone with. Which of these trends surprised you the most today? Which one sparked something? Give that some thought. And if you found this deep dive valuable, maybe share it with a friend who likes to keep up with where technology is heading. Until next time, stay curious.